Theta Chi fraternity is facing allegations once again on the campus of East Carolina University. The Chamber of Commerce also says they hope to maintain growth for North Carolina by investing back into the communities. Even though gas prices have come down just a little bit to $4.39, it's still a good thing that Wake County is offering free rides in certain parts of the county. Now, if you or someone that you know needs help, we have more information available on our website at WNCT.com. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Reyna Crooms. Well, farmers are struggling to find a balance. I'm here at the Raleigh City Farm, where farmers experienced a big drop in temperature just earlier this week. However, they are working to stay ahead of the problem. Carrie Martin owns Footprints in the Garden Farm. The land has been in her family for 140 years. Hi! Over the years, Martin has seen some changes.
We have had seasons and things where we felt like the temperature and the overall weather for climate control has made us make some alterations to our growing.
However, altering the growing season creates uncertainty.
It's a good thing on certain crops, but it might be something more difficult on other crops. And so we just have to learn how to pivot, whether that is a good thing for our crop or a bad thing.
So that's the big question. What's going to happen with climate change? At Interfaith Food Shuttle Farm, they're planting their crops almost 2 weeks early. And for the people working the ground, the evidence is all around.
I firmly believe that climate change is real.
Keaton McDaniel is the farm production coordinator at Interfaith Food Shuttle Farm.
And going over the previous years and harvest dates, transplant times, stuff like that, you can see for a fact that climate is shifting and that we are all having to adjust to that. It's impacting us mainly because it's harder to predict when we're going to be putting our stuff in the fields.
Farmers are not the only ones feeling the impacts of climate change. Some of us might feel it in our wallets.
This coming season, 2023, will have an increase in pricing. The increase in price in fertilizer and other implements that we would need to use on the farm, as well as climate change, having to nurture that plant a little bit more than normal, whether it's cold season or warm season.
Fraternity, you're supposed to be like upheld as men of honor, men of character. And it's like to do stuff like this, it's just unbelievable.
This comes after 2 alleged drink tamperings were reported to the school last month.
Obviously, ECU is not getting the word or is not hearing the voices of basically the victims or the people that are friends of the victims.
ECU has not said any word yet about if they will take any action against the fraternity. SGA says they sent the resolution to Theta Chi's national headquarters in hopes they will side with the student body.
I actually agree with that. I think this is not good for a community as a college, especially as a top-tier college that East Carolina University is in North Carolina.
According to ECU police, one of the recent drink tamperings led to a sexual assault at the Theta Chi fraternity house. This is the 3rd reported drink tampering incident against the fraternity, and students say they hope it'll end soon.
I think it's time that somebody should have said something or stood up for it, and it's not right.
Look at it, it's a gorgeous neoclassical revival porticos.
Matthew Brown has an appreciation for history, including this spot, the old Seaboard train station in Raleigh. The historical preservationist and member of Mordecai Community Action Coalition tries to save pieces of Raleigh's history. This station is his latest effort.
This is where all the soldiers headed to World War II left their families, and then a couple years later came back and greeted their families, or came back in a coffin to their grieving widows.
The building survived the 1960s civil rights movement, and today it's home to Logan's Garden Shop. But maybe not for long. Turnbridge Equities, a New York development company, purchased the property for $8.5 million in December. Their plan is to turn this space into a walkable mixed-use community. Losing the building altogether does not sit well with Brown.
Oh, it was just so sad. We've lost so many of our beautiful, interesting buildings that give Raleigh its character. I don't want to live in a city of nothing but generic disposable boxes. I want to live in a place with history and beauty and character.
because the development company has to get the property rezoned in order to put up a larger building. Brown says whatever the plan, it needs to preserve the old Seaboard Station. Raleigh's Planning and Zoning Commission seems to somewhat agree. Last month, they recommended that at least 50% of the building be preserved. In the end, Brown just wants the building saved.
What today is a community coming together to remember the family that we have lost.
This evening, the Dr. Jesse R. Peel LGBTQ Center at ECU hosted a candlelight vigil in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance, a day that was made to honor the lives lost over the past year due to anti-transgender violence. Rose Bogue is the interim program coordinator at the center and says they hope this event will show support for the LGBTQ community in Greenville.
You know, we try not to focus on the violence itself. We try not to focus on the hatred and the awful things that these people experienced before their passings. And instead, this is a time to recognize them for who they are.
The first Transgender Day of Remembrance was held in 1999 by advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith in honor of the life of Rita Hester, a transgender woman who was killed in 1998. And the same message of acknowledging the violence that takes place within the transgender community is still being shared today. Here in Holly Springs, the 4th of July is not over yet. The town kicked off its Independence Day celebration Tuesday in Bass Lake Park. They're calling it a second day for the USA.
4th of July is probably my favorite holiday.
The event has food and live music. Town organizers say around 10,000 people show up every year for the fireworks. And with all of the fun going on, safety is still the #1 concern. That's why police have been prepping for this event for months.
So we always are prepared ahead of time, and we work a lot of scenarios in preparation for large-scale events like this.
With the recent 4th of July shootings in Chicago and Philadelphia, police say they reviewed their plans to help keep people safe.
Anytime we have an incident that occurred similar to the one that happened in Illinois, we look at those incidents, we reevaluate our plans, we see if there's any gaps in those plans, and we try to refill in any gaps that we see in those plans.
The festival went off smoothly for those who decided to come out and celebrate, with plenty of people enjoying the fun.
I don't know, it's just a really great environment to be around. Everybody's so happy and stuff, and the music is awesome.
Reyna Crooms, CBS 17 News.